Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Welcome to Monday Sucks. I hope your Monday went well. I'm Jack Bigadoo, aka the Hood Sommelier. And as always, I have with me my illustrious co host, the single barrel snob, aka Timmy. Let's unmute Tim. Tim, you need to unmute yourself.
Yo,
This whole
dude,
time you kept
that was
going like,
way that was way faster than I expected it to be. I was holy shit, man. Woo!
so
Goodness
if
gracious.
you're joining us, this is Monday. I'm Jack Bigadoo, aka the Hood Summer DC. This is Tim, aka the Single Barrel Snob. And if you're watching us right now, either on Facebook or on IG or on YouTube, please do me a favor. Make sure you share this with your friend, family, people, anyone that you have out there so they can actually follow us and have a good time. Thank you for joining Steve, Tim, Matt. Thanks for being on. If you're on Facebook and if you see this on Facebook,
That's not good. Is
sharing
this how
your
we're
moment
there we
here.
go.
We're back. We are back. What's up? What's up, Louisville Bourbon Buzz? Is Monday.
Tyler.
What are you guys drinking? And like I said, if you're here and you're watching this on Facebook, just make sure that you go into your group just like I'm doing right now. I'm about to jump on Facebook and I'm about to share in all my Facebook groups so we can be known so people can come. What's up, KC Bourbon? How's it going? Thank you so much for being here. Make sure you type the, like I said, make sure you just tap the like button so we can actually have a good time and have more people here that can enjoy the show. If you're watching right now, it's Monday. Usually we drink barrel proof because Mondays suck.
Monday
But
sucks.
if you're here and you're drinking something, put in a comment. I want to see in a comment, what are you drinking? What's up? What's up? What's up? Thanks for
What's
joining.
going on?
Yeah, we are live on Facebook as well. So for people that are not on Facebook, make sure you come on our Facebook. But this Monday is not about us, right? With this Monday is not about us. This Monday we are about to have a legend in the room, right? I will tell y'all one thing. I discovered this distillery, this brand, back in 2000, back in 2018 when it wasn't cool to have it in your house yet. I already had it in my house. I'm pretty sure I was probably the 10th comment on their Facebook page saying I fucking love this product, right? So I want to give my flowers for that. But Tim, have you ever heard of Smoke Wagon? I don't know.
Yeah, actually, I'm in that OG cart with you because I have an OG single barrel that's a 12 year. This
Okay.
is this is this is OG pre-hype smoke wagon.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm in that OG cart with you, bro.
But I don't believe Smoke Wagon will be Smoke Wagon today or will be as known without this person, this man that almost entertained us more than he give us whiskey. Because I literally live my life looking forward to him going live so I can have a good time. I call him our favorite, our favorite drunk uncle. That's the best way I can describe it. Is our favorite drunk uncle, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Aaron. Welcome to Monday.
Well, hello. How you
You
guys
did
doing?
good. You did good, Aaron. You did good. You did good. Damn it.
Thank you. How you
Son
Aaron.
guys
of a
doing?
bitch.
Welcome to the show, the most known person in the whiskey industry that no one actually knows about. He's the most popular, our favorite drunk uncle, right? Every time he gets on live, I'm like, oh, my favorite drunk uncle is on. I definitely need to talk to see it. I'm still butthurt because I got into every single of your giveaway, but my name never
But
comes out.
you haven't won yet.
Guilty.
I
Guilty.
mean, it's funny because the last one, I had the most comments about people missing them, and usually we get over 2,000 people entering. And this last one, there was only like I don't know, maybe like 970 entrants or something like that.
Because
So
they're like me. They just give up. They're like, you know what? Everybody loves Aaron Juice. I don't need to try. I'm just going to give. But without further ado, Aaron, tell the people who you are and why you are here today, hanging out with these two crazy people on this beautiful Monday.
my name is Aaron Chapnick. I'm here on this beautiful. We're even having the sun setting. It's beautiful out and it's drizzling all at the same time. It's pretty remarkable. Me and my business partner Jonathan, we started Nevada HSC Distilling like 11 years ago. On one of our brands, well, the brand that everybody knows, the vodka is secondary for sure. Is Smoke Wagon Bourbon. It's been crazy, man. It's a lot of fun, you know.
You, Aaron, are like what I like to call an artiste, right? French people we call it an artiste because you make MGP look sexier than how it's supposed to look. So I call you the artiste because tell us a little bit about Smoke Wagon. What is it? What type of juice is it? Obviously, you don't make it in your distillery. Tell us a little bit about how the juice came about.
Oh yeah, I mean, you know, it's kind of like honestly, it's like a series of happy accidents, as they're called. You know, we started the process in like 2010. Our space was basically done and ready to open. Like we were going to distill ourselves. At that time, there was no such thing as a distiller's license in the state of Nevada. You would get a rectifier's license, and the governor would literally give you a letter saying you could distill. So, you know, everyone was like, "Oh yeah, you just go buy aged juice." You know, just everybody gets, because I was intimidated by the process and everything. I was, I was like, but the irony of it all is my business partner Jonathan. He was like, "Do we really have to distill from scratch? Can't we get someone to make the white dog and just age it here?" I was like, "No, I'm going to do everything myself. I'm going to do it from scratch, and I'm going to learn the process." You know, because you're fed, as you know, even I coming from the retail side of things, and as a consumer, you're fed all this romance. You know, you're fed this perception of what the process is, and then so we in 2012. All the big brands had closed their doors on small suppliers because I think in that year alone, 250 craft distilleries had opened up. And the only people selling aged bourbon was MGP. And they were they had been dealing with craft guys for a second for, I guess, it had been 7 or 8 months. And I don't think it was really panning out the way they thought it would be, you know, because they inherited all the Diageo contracts and all the Seagram's and so they're doing like, you know, big laydowns for all these big companies, and all of a sudden these guys come in and want to buy 1 and 2 barrels, and I don't think that that's what they perceived it would be like. So they're like, if you guys are for real, get out here. You got to come out. You got to tour the facility, and we bought every. At that time, there were no new warehouses, so everything was racked in the old MGP warehouses. Nothing was top filled and palletized, and so we bought all the 36% rye they would sell us, because I really liked Four Roses single barrel, you know, 35% rye, and they're like, "We have a 36% rye." I was like, "Cool, let's do it," you know. But the thing is, like, when you go there, you know, and you see the control room, and you see, you know, where they're distilling, and you know they got 3 power sources to run the still, depending on what's the cheapest: natural gas, electricity, or coal. They've got, you know, you go into the control room, and there's, because you know, you're like told this story, like you see all these pictures of like old guys sniffing stuff and like taking little samples out of the distiller's spigot and all that shit, and it's like it's a room full of computer screens and guys in hard hats and white lab coats watching computer screens that are telling them the distillate composition, you know, to make sure it's exactly the same. It's all being determined by a methanol sniffer. It's like, this is not how they told me it was done, you know. And then also seeing the facility, you know, it's a 20-acre facility, and you just like kind of slapped in the face, like, how the fuck do you scale to this? And like, look
Yeah.
at these warehouses. You know, these warehouses were built in the 30s. You can't build stuff like this anymore. You can't build like these big, masonry warehouses like this anymore. And they tell you the whole story that it's in Indiana and not Kentucky because that's the way the wind blows and you get all the moisture off the Ohio River. So they get the fog every morning and they're on top of an aquifer, and all the rack houses have sub basements, so they have dirt floors. It's always wet from the aquifer, and there's no windows except in the stairwells. So like everything is just sealed humidity, 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 humidity. And I'm just like, man, I fucking I don't live. I live in Las Vegas. We got like 5% humidity, and then at the time too, when I was doing this, we heard from a guy who was doing it locally that he was getting 48% volume loss his first year here. And, that industry standard is 10%. So all of a sudden I'm like slapped in the face and it's like, well, distilling is not really what I thought it was going to be like. We got like a 250 gallon still. I mean, that could do a barrel a day, I mean, and so it was kind of an eye-opening experience. And the main thing, like I said, is like, how do you scale to this? Like if we become successful, like how do you even build this? We don't have 20 acres. We got a 3,900 square foot facility, So, but no decisions were made except buy everything we can. And then I got some interesting shadows going on here.
You're the man of the hour, so we take you however you come.
So we initially were going to dump all of the 5-year 36% rye barrels that we bought into these big tanks. We had these custom tanks made because usually tanks are tall. We had sort of low ceilings for an industrial place. And the fire department, the city, never approved the tanks. And so much time goes by that we're like, all of a sudden I'm looking at our inventory, and we had contracted MGP to start distilling for us, like instead of buying aged stuff, doing laydowns.
Was this in 2012 when you had them start contract distilling for you?
No, in 2012 we just bought the 5 years and a bunch of stuff that was like whatever 8 months old. First stuff, like, half of it was distilled by LDI before they sold and then the other 500 barrels were distilled by MGP, and apparently they were the first barrels they ever distilled because of. Let's see if I can reposition myself away from the shadow here. Let's get creative here. There we go. Hey, everything's
sun got you.
And because we have those first 10 barrels that they ever did. And what's crazy about that is I've had those barrels since they were 9 months old. I mean, we could have pulled them when they were 4 years old. We could have pulled them at any time. The fact that I finally discovered them when they were 9 years old is pretty cool. So now it's 2016, right?
4 years later.
Yeah, and the tanks never got approved. So we abandon the tanks. We get our certificate of occupancy. We go to the city and get all our licensing. We go to the state to get our licensing from them. And they're like, what do you want, a craft distiller's license or a rectifier's license? I was like, oh, I want a rectifier's license with permission to distill, like we talked about, years ago. And by the way, the distilling, contracting them in 2015 was just like, oh, let's get some more stuff down. And then also, after 2009, 2010, after the housing market crashed, no one was building houses, so no one was logging. And a lot of craft guys couldn't get oak. They couldn't get barrels. And that's when you started seeing like a lot of rums and things that could be done and used barrels. So that was the only reason we started contract distilling. We were still thinking about distilling ourselves. And then the city said, no, you can't. I'm sorry, the state. It was either be a craft distiller, and you can't import any of the barrels in MGP, which at this point was like 2,000. We had 2,000 barrels out there. And everything has to be made from scratch, including the vodka. Now, they let us distill the vodka from neutral grain spirit because we're not making it from scratch. So under the craft distiller's license, it's not distilling. And so theoretically, and by the way, this is like what I was
this is the silver dollar vodka.
correct. Yes.
Yeah.
And so we buy neutral grain spirit and cook it in our copper pot still for about 8 hours. And that unquestionably completely changes the flavor profile. I actually found my brand ambassador here used to work for Kettle. He was like, "Oh, how much of your NGS do you distill?" I was like, 100%. He's like, "You distill 100% of it?" He was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Why? How much do they normally do?" He's like, "I don't know, like 25, 35%." So usually vodka companies will just distill a little bit and then go around with an eyedropper and fairy dust neutral grain spirit and say it's all distilled. Which, by the way, that is what I was advised to do with bourbon, right? Because everyone was like, "Oh, you don't want to have distilled in Indiana on your back label. You don't want to be an MGP brand. You want to like tell everybody you're going to start distilling yourselves." And I was like, "Well, we're not, you know." He's like, "Is there any way you can?" I said, "Yeah, the same way I do vodka. I could, with a relationship with MGP, I could contract them and." They could send me 350 gallons of White Dog. We could run it through our still with all the bubble plates open, so it's not really doing anything. Put it in a barrel. Name the still Mildred or Millie or fucking some bullshit. You come up with a story like we're distilling ourselves. And we've got one barrel that we take an eyedropper out of in 4 years and fairy dust everything, and now we're a blend of straight bourbons. And you can take your state of distillation off the back label. And I was like, but that's just lying. It's all bullshit. There's no real advantage. It's not like it's going to improve anything. You know what I mean? And so it's just weird, man. It's like there was a lot of pressure to come up with fake stories, from the distributor, from everyone. Come up with a fake story. Get this on Indiana off the back label. And I was just like, there's nothing wrong with MGP. The problem with MGP is that it's MGP. I do not believe wholeheartedly that people understood that MGP bought the Seagram's plant in Indiana, almost 100-year-old facility, because MGP was already distilling for alcohol for Purell and they made food grade protein, things like that. So I don't think people got it. I think because nobody knew what the Seagram's plant was, and also Seagram's they weren't it's not like Seagram 7, yeah, super, it's not like any of these products that they're distilling this exceptional bourbon for is being turned into bourbon. The 95% rye, that was a blender for so if you made it like a spirit whiskey or something like that, it was never meant to be on its own. 36% rye was the heart of Crown Royal, which isn't a bourbon. So nobody knew that any of these bourbons were bourbons because they weren't going into bourbons. They were being used for blenders and other things.
Correct.
So, but I just, I was like, I'm not going to lie about it. Everybody's lying. And I have no shame in using that facility because I think it's extraordinary and I think it's special, especially, all our stuff is racked in the old Seagram's warehouses. So the next thing that happened was I had the 4-year and I had the 8-year, and the advice from the experts was blend them together to create the flavor you like in the 5-year. And I can't even remember the ratios. They're like, yeah, you can use like 15% 8-year and the rest 4-year, and it's going to be great. And I did that, and I was like, this is not great. This is terrible. We can't do this. And so I just kept messing around with it. And I got to a ratio. I was like, I really like this. This is like a flavor that I like better than anything I've ever had. And I like it better than the 5-year, and I like it better than the 8-year because it has all the rye. It has all the nice flavors of the 8-year, but it's not as oaky as the 8-year. It's not as one-dimensional as the 8-year. It's got a lot going on. And everyone's
not to interrupt you, Aaron, but
sure.
that actually is a question I had. Did you have prior experience into blending? Because I mean, at this point, you are the master blender of Smoke Wagon, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I come from a world of single malt, and the power in single malt is in the ability of have master blenders that are taking all these juice from all these years and making the perfect blend for you to enjoy. And there's something about Smoke Wagon that is the word I used the first time I had the straight was balanced. It was very balanced. So,
Right.
which brought me to the question: did you have past experience into blending, or you just woke up when you jump in this venture? You're like, I'm looking for the taste I want. So, this what everybody else is drinking.
That it was that the latter. You know, it started off with like trying to figure out how to make the 8 and the 4 taste like a 5-year, but it ended up being this is what I like. Even though I was advised not to do that, I was like advised to take, because we had a few hundred barrels of 8-year. I was like, put the 8-year in a bottle with 8-year and put the 4-year in a bottle with no age statement. And I was like, well, what's the point? I'm not doing anything new. I mean, it is just it's sourced bourbon from MGP. You know, I mean, things have changed now where it takes so long and we've done so much that I have all this inventory and it's really unique, and I kind of have the monopoly on racked barrels in certain years. But at the time, it was just, you know, we had like what everybody else had, and so I was like, this is what I like, and so this is what I'm gonna do. You know, and everybody can, yeah, all the experts. I was like, what?
So you are a renegade in the game. You pretty much go to the beat of your own drum at this point, right?
Yeah.
Everybody knows that whatever you're gonna get from Smoke Wagon, you got to prepare yourself. It's gonna be interesting, right? Which is actually, this is a really good question. That was my next question. Is typically how long does the barrels, go through the Nevada heat when you bring them from MGP?
It depends. I would say the newer ones are not here that long. They just don't do that well.
Okay.
Usually the 4 and 5 year, and we blow through those so fast. The 7s and 9s, I mean, like the 12s, I've had 12s here for 2 years. Like the 13s that I'm doing now, that are almost 14 in May, they've been here for 2 years. That's why they're up to like 120 proof. You know, we got them,
Mhm.
they're like 111. The 7s I like to have for at least, you know, 4 months or so, which in the winter definitely you can see something, but in the summer when it's 4 or 5% humidity, the change over that summer is drastic. And it was sort of, and that was another thing that I learned by accident, because originally they didn't sit at all. I was freaked out when I found out that guy was getting, 48% volume loss in the first year. Man, we would dump those suckers as soon as we got them, like that day, you know. And then one summer, I was just telling a story the other day. I ruptured my lower distal bicep tendon, and I was doing everything myself, and so I couldn't do it over the summer, and that was when we had 10 years, and the tens got significantly more complex over the summer. Like all the rye spice came back. Actually, surprisingly, some of the oak went away. The proof went up a little bit, and I was like, "Oh, well, this is." And there was the, I mean, the case yield. I didn't really weigh them when they got here, but the case yield was pretty much what I would expect to have gotten out of a 10-year from the floor they were on. So yeah. So the older ones, I like to try and have them sit for a while. The younger ones, even the 6 years, we've had these 6 years in there now for like 3 or 4 months, you know. So I don't have enough room. So ideally, I would get 2 trucks. Each truck holds 88 to 90 barrels, and ideally, I would get like a truck of 4 and 5s that we can just blow through for the straight bourbon, because that's the fastest to bottle, and then way more 6, 7, and 9 than I need, so I can just have them in there, you know, sitting for a while before I pull off of them.
Okay. Now, because I'm almost too observant to things, I think originally I've always wondered why the name Smoke Wagon, even though I know you're in Nevada and you have the cool hat. And so for the people watching today, why the name Smoke Wagon?
Oh, sure. Well, it's all started with the vodka. The vodka was called Silver Dollar because it's silver filtered, and the Morgan Silver Dollar was minted in Carson City, so that was like the currency of the Old West. And when it came time to do Smoke Wagon, I mean, that's sort of, I grew up on the East Coast, and so my whole affinity for here is not the mid-century modern history of South Sahara. It's why does Las Vegas exist in the first place? Like the West, I love the West. I love being out here. I love being in the desert, and so I went online and I looked at this dictionary of Old West slang. And I was looking for like slang for alcohol, or bourbon or things like that, but there wasn't really anything. And then I remember I was driving back from Las Vegas, and Jonathan called me, and we were talking on the phone about it. He was like, "Have you thought about the name?" And I was like, "Yeah." Here, I was like, narrowed it down to these, and I can't remember what they were, but I just remember I said Smoke Wagon. He went, "Wait, what?" And I was like, "Smoke Wagon." He's like, "Smoke Wagon." I was like, "Yeah, man, it's actually one of my favorites because I've got the logo already, pictured in my mind, because Smoke Wagon's Old West slang for the Colt Single Action Army revolver."
Correct.
And him, being a film guy, he was like, "Oh, well, in this line from Tombstone that I had forgotten about." And then also it just made sense. Well, yeah, because the Morgan was the currency of the Old West, and Smoke Wagon's gun that won the West, and so everybody had a Morgan's in their pocket and a Colt on their hip.
And one of the most interesting part, again, speaking of things, for all of you guys that have your Smoke Wagon in your hand right now, and
have you guys started? What are you guys working on? You have the straight? Are you drinking?
Yeah, I'm gonna pour the straight right now, but this guy already went through each single one of them already. Tim been drinking it.
I'm on this right now.
Bibamus Moriedum Este.
Yes.
Because I speak French and my dad forced me to take Latin, that's probably the first thing I saw on the bottle. I didn't even care when I looked at your bottle the first time. I'm like, who put Latin on their bottle that is not an old coin or something that come from way back in the day?
Right. That was actually,
tell the people why.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, I was designing the logo and I had it all figured out, and I was just trying to figure out. I was like, I really want there to be a Latin phrase on here, and Jonathan was like, one of my law professors used to toast, "Beating this morning in the mess."
Yeah,
and he told me what he's like. Well, that's pretty much us, man. That is how we live our lives. There's never been a more appropriate motto for us,
let's drink, for we must die, or life is too short. Let's drink.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, and just have a good time, man. You just never know, Yes, celebrate life today while you can.
That is so cool, because that's probably the first thing I paid attention to. I think the bottle, the design of your bottle, and everything you put in it, just is phenomenal, because it's so eye-catching when you look at it.
Thank you.
I remember when the first time I ever got the Desert Jewel, that was probably my favorite bottle to put on my bar all day, right?
That's still that blue with some silver metallic wax and the blue and silver state colors label is still my favorite. I gotta figure out how to do that again just for that
yes,
bottle.
That's probably. But I will tell you right now, the whole time that everybody was getting excited about your barrel program and your, the uncut, unfiltered, and whatnot, I ran through 3 of these bottles in less than 2 months. The straight for me, I do not know what was it about the straight. That's when I went and looked you guys up online to go, who in the hell is this guy? And how did he make something in Nevada that is just this good? Because for me, I'll be honest, I never got too excited about any of your big release. As long as I have the straight in hand, I tell everyone, you want to try Smoke Wagon? Don't run to go. You're gonna cry your rest of your life if you want any of them limited and whatnot. Just get the straight. You thank me later. So
Yeah, it's a trip. The straight is something I was obsessed with. I've learned a lot. When we started the straight, I was like, we need to put 600 barrels down on the 6th floor so that in 4 years, they'll be aged. And because I really didn't understand MGP at the time, I didn't understand what I could do. So it's like I was like, I have a I have a vision of an entry level bourbon that tastes amazing, and I think we have to do it. And that's the beauty of there just being two of us. And John was like, why? I was like, I don't know. It's my gut instinct. I said if I had to explain it, it would be everything's getting weirder and weirder and more expensive. Everyone's like experimenting with all these mash bills that may or may not work out, these barrel finishes that may or may not even be any good, just to try and separate themselves. And nobody's just doing like a $30, hopefully it'll be less one day, but nobody's doing like a $30 bourbon that just tastes really good and it may not be complex enough for someone, or it may not be they may want more heat, but there are no unpleasant flavors in there. I mean, and I think that there's a lot of people that want to start drinking bourbon, and some things have too much oak, some things are too hot, and so initially it was just 4 year off the 6th floor. As we've evolved and I've understood the warehouses and everything, it's the blend always stays the same. Well, except this last run because I didn't have any 4 years, so it's all 5 and 6 years.
So what you're saying is people need to look for the latest straight then?
Yeah, that's why when I did that's why when I did the giveaway, I included some bottles in there because the truck isn't going to show up with more 4 and 5 here until Wednesday, and I was like, we just got to keep rolling, man.
You heard it here first. If you're looking for any bourbon lately, look for the new straight because Aaron may have put a little more aged juice in it than the regular one.
So, Aaron, I got some questions for you here, bud. If you don't mind me quick firing you.
Oh, I think that's why I'm here.
Yeah, absolutely. So I noticed. So I have one of the older single barrel bottlings. It's a 12-year, and I noticed on there and on some of the newer stuff, you don't have a DSP, but on the samples that you sent us, there's a DSP. Did you always have a DSP, or did that just come recently?
That's just federal regulations for samples.
Okay, so
do you not
have to DSP on your bottles?
No,
because they don't.
Wow.
If you don't distill, I'm assuming you don't need to put a DSP.
No, you need a DSP to rectify and to import. If you're going to import,
right?
I shouldn't say import because we're not really importing. If you want to transfer anything to you need to have a bond. Right, and otherwise, and if you have to have a bond, you have to have a DSP. Now, you don't have to put your DSP on your bottles because you got to submit your labels for approval, but you don't have to get approval for a sample bottle. So that's why they say not for resale and have your DSP on them and everything. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, we've got. I think it's NV2 because it's like the second DSP in Nevada.
Yep. I think 15006. That's you guys.
What's the future? What's the future of all those extra aged barrels that you have laying around? Are you gonna do a blend with them? Is that something that Jack and I can come and taste and pick and bottle for Monday Sucks crew? Where are those barrels? Where are those barrels going? What's the future of those barrels?
But before you answer, Aaron, you need to understand. Most people that are watching here. You think you got fans. But most people that are watching here, Matt,
are your super fans.
They are your super fans.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, like our comment section is so hot right now. I can't keep up.
That's awesome. Well, I mean, the thing is, it's like I appreciate everyone. I mean, I always joke about how like other suppliers, make it seem like they're killing themselves to get the stuff out, and it's a lot. And for me, it's a lot of fun. And the only reason I get to do it is because all these people appreciate it and enjoy it. And it's obviously it's rewarding. And now as time has gone, but there's some hard times there where like you know things were tough, man. Yeah, I mean, we always spent all our money on inventory, and so I was doing everything, and there's a lot of money out there, and Jonathan was kind of looking at me and like, what the fuck's going on here? Like, when's this shit gonna happen? And I was like, ah. And so, but I was always out doing tastings at liquor stores and things like that, and the interaction with people is what kept me going. I was like, man, people really love this stuff, and they're so nice, and everybody in
Mhm.
this community is so cool. And then when we started the Instagram, even though it was small, everybody was like, once I figured out that nobody really wants to see a bunch of bottle shots, they want to, because I was sort of reluctant to be the face of the brand because I came from the bar business. And the whole reason my bars were successful is because I was in the shadows. You have all these bars where the owner wants to be the guy, hey, what's up? And for me, it was always about the customer. And so all the interaction on Instagram and like all the early days, that's the stuff that was like that gave me faith that it was going to work. Were all these people, and so it's cool. Like I appreciate all of them, and
So
it's
so
amazing.
so we have to ask distribution. I think if I have right now a beef with you, Aaron, is distribution. Because your juice is known everywhere now. I
Yeah.
think I think I think the most smuggled bottle in America right now is Smoke Wagon. People will smuggle it through state line just to be able to have them. So from what our audience is posing right now, and I belong to a group in Nebraska here where I am of about thousands of people, and they're tired of one person going to Colorado down the street 8 hours and coming back and tell them that they're gonna charge them an arm and a leg for your bottle. So we want to know, at least in Nebraska, when do we get your juice?
And Louisville. Don't forget about Louisville over
No,
here.
Kentucky doesn't either.
Kentucky. I don't have. There's no smoke wagon in Kentucky.
Oh,
I
okay.
know. I
So,
am in
so
talks with
Aaron, I need you to clear this thing up. Which phone call do I have to make? I consider myself kind of a big deal. So how do we make this happen?
Well, the thing is, it's happening, man. We closed escrow on that 4 acres today.
Okay.
It was recorded, and so
Congratulations.
thank you. That's good. And so the development will be slow, but fortunately, there's an 8,000 square foot building that we're going to instantly renovate and put an automated bottling line in there. And I think that the crazy thing is right, if people don't understand what we're doing in 11 states, we're doing, we're maxed out. I can't even, I would have liked to have done it, like maybe do 2 shifts a day to get more out, but we don't have the room to stockpile the inventory or anything. I don't have the room for the barrels. I don't have the room for anything. So we're currently doing over 5 liter 756 packs. We're doing over 60,000 a year in just 11 states, and it's not enough. We can't keep up in those 11 states. And so once we get in the new space, and we have the juice, I mean, we just keep buying. There's that like intelligence test, right, where like you want a cookie today or you want like a box of cookies in a month, and we're like, we want the cookies in a month. So like we just keep putting all the money back into the business, buying the land and buying juice. We just keep, I mean, we're currently laying down 400 barrels a month, which it should be more, but we bought those 1,400 barrels from MGP. I just bought 700.
Are you laying down aged barrels?
No, day one new barrels,
Okay.
and so
Wow,
that's
nice.
yeah, and so that's why everything's so affordable, and also we always just go in and make big buys. My MGP sales rep loves us, and
I bet.
and so we just went and bought in like 755 barrels of like 3 year that'll be 4 year in September, but that's like all they had. So far we've bought everything that they had between those racks, because I only buy the rack stuff. We bought every rack barrel they had between like 3 years and 4 years. We bought every single rack barrel they had 5, 6, and 7. We've been laying juice down. We've got tons. So my only holdup is space and the ability to bottle it fast enough. And so once we get in the new space, the automated bottling line will give us the ability to do at least, 250,000 9-liter cases, 500,000 5-liter 6-packs annually with just 7 8-hour shifts. And at that point, we'll be able to get into all the states.
Would the new
not at once, but slowly. I'm thinking
Sure.
I'm thinking Kentucky first, then a bunch of states, and then like Nebraska. And like
Thank you, Aaron, for making me feel so small. So I have to ask. So for people that know you, there's never been an Aaron picture without cigar. I am still surprised that you have not gotten a Smoke Wagon cigar brand out yet.
Well, I mean, no one's approached me, and I don't know. I don't know if that would. I'm not an expert in that. I mean,
You just like what you like.
You just love what you love.
Yeah, and I go. I mean, it's funny because I always joke with the guy. His name's Jason, and he's I think he's like he used to be the manager of the Fry Brothers cigar box, but now I think he's like their kind of in charge of everything, for all the stores. But he's located in that store, and he's always like, "Oh, you're giving people cigar advice." I'm like, I know, Jason. My cigar advice is go see Jason. I don't even know I don't even know what it is I like. I just show up and go, "Hey, Jason," because he knows my palate, and he's like, "Get these." Like we walk around, and he holds the thing. I'm like, "What about these?" He's like, "Grab some of those." I was like, "How many?" He's like, "You're gonna really like those." I'm like, "Okay, we'll get a bunch of those." And
All
then,
right.
and then I come back with the rings. I'm like, it's only recently that I've started paying attention to what I'm actually smoking because people are asking me. But it's all I'm just standing on the shoulders of Jason. Jason's he's doing all the heavy lift to make me look good with my.
There's nothing wrong with that. At least somebody knows your palate, and everybody needs a guide in their journey. Obviously, from the comment that I'm reading right now, a lot of people are still asking when is the barrel program ever coming back. They want their red little insignia.
Yeah, we want to know about that extra age juice too.
Yeah,
and
they want to know, is the Desert Jewel ever coming back?
Well, as a 10-year, I mean that would be tough. I don't know how it could come back. I mean, look at it this way, right? When Desert Jewel first happened, I mean, I had 35 barrels of 10-year on the 4th floor in Warehouse G. Warehouse G is, I believe, from my experience, things age pretty fast there, much faster than some of the other warehouses. I think it's kind of far from the river, and it gets sun. So I was like, man, these barrels they don't have much longer. We can't afford to leave them up there. We're already starting to get empty and over oaked ones. And so I pulled them all and came up with the Desert Jewel blend. 35
the 13-year. Well, I want to know.
I have
this 13 years or more. Where are they going? I feel like it's a big secret that I'm not hearing about. Aaron, come on, hit me.
Two of them, I don't know what to do with because one's bad, like bad. Like it tastes like it was funny because like someone was telling me how a bad barrel tastes because we always talk about like, oh yeah, this is fruity, it's got green apple, and someone I think in one of the things said, oh, doesn't apple mean a barrel's bad? Now I know the apple he's talking about because this one barrel tastes like Granny Smith apple and cut grass, and it's like when I first tasted. So that one's done. Another one's just sitting still. It's not ready, and then I only have like 2 or 4 of the 13 years left. I mean, we got some 9 years left. We have those 10 original MGPs, and I think I've got like another 80 or 100 after that. But you gotta understand that's not very many, especially with how I'm blending uncut and how I'm blending small batch and how much of it takes. When we stopped the barrel program, in 2 weeks, it was at 150. Like, we got everything they needed. And then the Texas order came in, and then the other thing that happened is that when they're 5 years old, I sold 60 barrels to Constellation. We didn't have the money, and so we sold, did a barrel transfer to get some money. And so I was like, fuck, we just lost 60 barrels, and Texas just ordered like, I don't even remember what the uncut unfiltered order was. And I was like, things are different now. And Lindsay, who handles all that shit, because it got to, like, I used to do all the barrel picks myself, and then all of a sudden one day it was like, it was a machine. It was a monster. And I was like, what are we at? We gotta, because we did like, I don't even know how many 8-year picks, 100 something, and that was right on the heels of doing those.
I have 3 different ones, so you did a lot.
Yeah, and we did at least 40 or 50 12-year picks, and at least, and I was like, so what's the list at, like 20 or 30? And she was like, no, it's up to 150 already. I was like, in 2 fucking weeks? I was like, we can't do that. And so it was just tough. I didn't want to, the brand is all about the straight, uncut, and small batch. And I didn't want to compromise those to do a bunch of barrel picks, because barrel picks aren't real. They don't really tell you the health of your brand. I mean, you can sell barrels all day and people are buying them and storing them and not really drinking them or anything, And so, and somebody one time was like, oh, because I think he was quoting Four Roses, who said, we're not doing barrel picks anymore because we're more concerned about like the average Joe walking in and being able to find. He's like, is that what you're doing? Like, no, I just, I put a lot of care and time into every expression, even the straight bourbon, and it's not necessarily the average Joe, but I could get that into, the hands of 100,000 bourbon enthusiasts versus, like if I did just barrels, it's not that many people, and also it wasn't fun anymore. It's like if I had like 10,000 9-year barrels, it'd be great. Just give everybody what they want, which is what I want to do. But when you have
it seemed like the uncut unfiltered is becoming the hot item anymore of your distillery, right? I still have old uncut unfiltered. There's no batch in the back. I have 2 of those. And so because mine are from 2019, back to 2019, that's when I have. But it seemed like the new statement now is everybody want your uncut and filtered because of the batching that you started. Right. Somebody told me the last time, like I would tell you honestly, Aaron, all I have from you is back from 2019. I haven't been able to find any bottle since beginning of 2019. But
man, it's so crazy because we bottle so much.
I know you do a lot, but my question is, what made you start wanting to do this batching, right? Because somebody last time told me they have the yum yum batch and they have what started this thing? Yeah, of the hot filter. Yeah, no, is it the rare unlimited? But no, it's like now they have like batch 26, 27. Everybody, people are collecting your batches now, right?
That was out of you got to realize initially it was pretty obvious what batch it was because I was doing like 44 cases at a time for a batch. I mean, I wasn't even blending them in those 350 gallon tanks. I was just blending them in like these little Latina tanks, and I do it like once every 4 months. So because in Nevada it's very casino focused. It's not. More and more liquor stores are finally starting to open up, but everyone was focused on casinos, and the casinos was small batch, and then straight. It was never. And then when we got into California is when uncut started picking up, and then when we got into Illinois, New York, New Jersey, Colorado, all those things, that's when uncut really, and Texas. So once all of a sudden I'm doing all these batches of uncut, it was no longer like, oh, just look for this ABV because it only changes once every 3 months. It's like we're doing 9 different batches a month. And so it was just people were like, hey, how can I tell this batch? I was like, I'm going to put batch numbers on these so that people can tell what batch they are.
Correct.
But yeah.
The real question today is, tell me how you feel about the secondary market, because I will be very honest right now and tell you the most sold bottle in New York Minute in the lickety split second on the secondary market is 2 bottles, and both are Smoke Wagon. One is a unicorn batch that you made that somebody have a story about of your uncut unfilters, and 2, your rare and limited.
Right.
Those 2 are like the unicorn of the unicorn. And I know you jump on the IG and tell people, no, don't worry about it. But man, you putting out something so good, you don't even need to hype it. People, it's already hyped before it comes out. So what's your feeling about the secondary market? Because now I've seen somebody backhand their friend before because of 1 bottle of Smoke Wagon that they both were fighting to get. And
yeah, I mean,
that's special.
I know someone whose friend got 3 bottles of the WC elevator, rare and limited, and he was like, hey man, can I get one of those? He's like, well, I'm selling them for this, and it's like, so secondary market's multifaceted, right? So on one hand, you got guys that are maybe buying uncut for like $10-15 more than retail. Somebody bought a 6-pack of it. They're making some money, just selling 5 so that 1's free. That's sort of gray, because here you have these guys that really aren't paying. They're getting something. Well, first of all, the secondary market is totally illegal, and as a supplier, I do not endorse it anyway. You're breaking federal laws. Razzles, dude, Razzles. First of all, I've seen secondary people put Razzles on their like Facebook thing. You guys are going to get hammered, man. Everybody knows what that is. They know that's a raffle. That's illegal gambling. They're like breaking like so many federal laws. So on that, so we're just talking like, in essence, right? So there is guys that can't get it in their state, and this is the only way they can get it, and they're not really paying that much more than retail, or guys are trading, horse trading, things like that. I don't think horse trading should be illegal. I don't even know if it is. I mean, horse trading is like whatever. But then you've got like guys where somebody told me like a rare and limited caramel yum yum sold for like $3,700.
Yes.
And it's like, well, I'm releasing these rare and limiteds because I think they're delicious. I don't think somebody paying $3,700 is drinking it. So here I took this time to like pick this barrel out, and and the funny thing is, like, when I did the 5-year, like people are like, oh, is this what it's come to? Smoke Wagon, you only have 5 years. It's like, yeah, oh yeah, we did it to make money, because it takes an entire fucking day to bottle that and write on the stupid labels. It's like for something I sell to distributors for less than small batch. In a day's worth. By the way, everything I bottle sells. We're never every PO from distributors back orders. We can't keep up with demand, so everything I put in a bottle is sold.
We know this, Aaron. You are preaching to the choir.
Yeah. So in that amount of time, I can do 3.5 pallets of small batch. I mean, I make a lot more money off 3.5 pallets of small batch than I make off 1 5-year barrel that I'm selling to a distributor for $20 a bottle or something like that. So so that stuff's like a bummer, because I'm sort of sacrificing income to put out something cool, and everything is I'm pricing it all reasonable. It's like when people are like, oh, $5, I'm like, yeah, but that stuff should sell for like $45, it's just a 5, maybe 50, $10 a year or whatever. It shouldn't sell for $100. And like even the WC elevator batch, that was sort of like a dream uncut blend. uncut to sell from 65 to 75. So figure that's like 85 to 90. You know, not these prices, and so I don't know. It just kind of takes the wind out of my sails to have.
And you know what? He's still at a certain point. I will play devil's advocate. He's still at a certain point, still make you the most prized possession some people have,
Right.
and go after. You know, that means you are guaranteed a sell no matter what. I know in Colorado, every time they get their supplies there, it's
Yeah.
already gone. Most people don't mind traveling 8 hours to come and pick up a bottle
Right.
of your uncut unfilters there. But the question everybody's asking is,
Well, that's different, right? That's volume, you know. Like Rare
Correct.
Unlimited, it's like, what's the biggest Rare Unlimited release was WC Elevator, and I was like, wasn't even 1,700 bottles. I mean, that's one batch of uncut, selling for barely more than what I sell uncut for. You know, because you figure when I sell to a distributor for, then they mark it up to the retailer, and the retailer marks it up. And so, like when you look
Correct.
at these things, you can kind of figure like 50%
Right.
or whatever. So
correct.
it's not like, oh yeah, we can WC Elevator batch and we just
No, I don't think you were ever the one to blame here. Is really the consumer side of things that we know for sure that it's the harder game to play.
Yeah.
Everybody's asking this question since we began. I didn't want to ask the question till we were at least in the middle of the interview. Why not Smoke Wagon Rye? You've been around since 7 years now, right? And why didn't you consider Smoke Wagon Rye?
Oh, I have considered it. I even had a really cool blend figured out. I mean, the thing you gotta understand is because my relationship with MGP, they had barrels that were on hold that they were willing to release to me, which is sort of a ongoing theme. And I had to buy those 1,400 barrels. So I was getting ready to do it, and they called me and said, "Hey, we're offering you 1,400 barrels at this price. Do you want them?" And if I varied from the 1,400, the deal didn't make sense anymore, and it was just like, I was like, "Yeah, we got to do it." And then we had to buy the property, and the property is a lot of money and all these things. So it was just sort of like timing and but I'm gonna do it. And the thing is, when I do it, I want to do it for real. I don't want to buy like 20 barrels and do a thing and, oh no, we can't get those anymore. I'll go in and buy every single barrel that they have of those mash bills and ages that I want, and start laying it down and start doing it so that it's a consistent, core product. But yeah, it was cool.
So what you mean it is coming,
Oh yeah,
but
for sure.
not yet.
Yeah, but not the way things are going, not too distant future.
So what is it that we should expect as consumers? Because right now, the Desert Jewel is ancient history. Right now, you can have the straight, the small batch, and the uncut unfiltered. Those are the ones that will be flying. You came up with the rare and limited. I just look at those things every time you do a live. I know I will never get one, so I don't dream about it. But
never say never, man.
You know, Aaron. I am a realist. I'm not a pessimist. I'm just a realist.
Time marches on. Everything's fleeting. It's like one day we'll be in Nebraska, and I'm sure you have a good relationship with a liquor store manager or owner, and when it comes there, they will call you first.
I'm telling you right now. That's what I say. If there's something I need to do for you to have it in Nebraska as soon as you can, trust me, I can make phone calls.
It'll all be happening come late fall, early next year.
So the real question now is, what should we, as our drunk uncle, our happy drunk uncle that we love coming on
I'm never actually drunk. This is just how I am all the time.
The first time you came on live, it reminded me you need to go back and watch Drunk Uncle on Saturday Night Live. Like, that is the first thing that came to mind. You come on and you're like, "Yep, I'm Aaron. Yeah, you can put this in your Twitter and your Snapchat and post it. I'm here just to tell you about so." I started laughing because I'm like, oh my God, if this is his personality, he doesn't need any advertisement budget. This is just this will sell.
Yeah, I mean it's insane, man. It's crazy, you know. It's like it's all been, you know, word of mouth in the community and Instagram. And
That
I
that is
have
that is
I
true.
have I have, you know, one brand ambassador, and that's out of necessity here locally because he's got to deal with the casinos. You know, the casinos need attention, or you know, because they're getting so much pressure from big brands
Correct.
that you gotta support. And then everywhere else, it's like, you know, I remember I was talking to a distributor about my fear of losing shelf placement in a liquor store if we couldn't keep up. He's like, "Don't worry about it. You don't have shelf placement. They just put it out front, and it all sells in 10
I
minutes.
was
They
about to
love
say shelf
they love
placement. You
you."
have to make it to
Yeah,
the shelf first
yeah, yeah,
because usually it's sold before it gets to the shelf.
yeah. They're like, "Don't worry, everybody loves you. Your stuff just fly." He's like, "Do an Instagram, and it'll tell people what you're doing, and it'll move." You
I'm
know,
telling
and
you, people look forward to your Instagram. I think you're probably the most entertaining and the most
oh,
personable
thank you.
brand out there because you're so personable. Most people know what's happening,
Yeah,
what's about to happen, and people love. Like I remember the first time I watched one of your Instagram, and I'm like, "Oh, you did a giveaway." I think it's the first giveaway you ever done. There was probably about 35 to 4,600. I think 4,600 comment under your
yeah.
post, and I sat there and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna comment because I don't think
Well,
anybody
yeah,
can read."
that's probably before I started making hiding them, and yeah, because I remember like I did one, uh, and you know you could tell people didn't know what was going on, and that there was a lot of accounts that were just like, what the word was out there was free stuff, and so you know, so you didn't have to make anything up, so it was just like say this and this, and everybody would just be like blah blah blah, you know,
Yeah, by the
parroting.
way, that's exactly what I hate because you ask life-changing questions. And I remember it was Christmas and I think it was right after Thanksgiving you say I believe the post was I wish if I had this, I wish
Yep.
I would do something like that.
Yeah,
And I sat there like,
Yeah.
what can I write to this cowboy, flary, colorful looking guy for him to look at it and go, "Yep, I'm gonna choose this guy." So
yeah.
you made me think so hard. My
That's what
all the spare clues here fell off. I'm like, you know what? Screw it.
I
I'm not doing this.
I read every, so I used a random picker on those, and I would read the comments, and if they were just like dumb comments, I was like, no, man, because you know the Christmas ones and everything when I was giving away the cases of special batch, small batch, and all that, that was really you know, to help people out because I knew that a lot of people had hard times because of COVID, and there was probably people out there that couldn't afford to buy presents and things like that. And so I really wanted to help them out and give them something to either, you know, share, give out as gifts, things like that. And so I really paid attention to those comments.
Speaking of helping out, I did see you did a donation this week. To
Whoa, yeah. Can we
help.
talk? Can we talk about that for a second? Because
We're
Aaron,
not talking too much about
you
that.
went,
We're talking about Aaron right now.
you went. No, that's what I was saying. He went hard. He went
You
hard.
did.
Yeah.
You did.
I want to talk about how hard he went, and that's the thing that I admire about you so much, man. Is I know that's why you get angry and bent out of shape about things because
Yeah.
you clearly give a shit about this community. And
Yeah.
it pisses you off when this community takes a shit on what you're doing. And so
Only my character. I don't expect everybody to like a brand.
sure.
I'm totally suit of armor about, oh, it's just MGP. Those people are dismissible. It's when I get accused of doing things like for financial gain or, you know, trying to trick the consumer or mislead the consumer, and it's like, you know, fuck you, man. That's like an attack, you know. And but yeah, sorry, I
Sure.
didn't mean to.
No, you're good. You're good. So
You're fine.
let's talk about the charity and what you did for it because I want to
Okay.
bring awareness to that too because that's huge. Go for it.
Oh,
Lay it on us. Tell them what you did.
well, the easy thing I did was I gave. I mean, that's right. So everybody's giving bottles. So I gave a bottle out of the private reserve of batch number one, which the private reserve is like 100 bottles. It's not like I had 3. And then special batch, small batch, which I've just decided to give away. That was sort of the thing, like my response to, retail gouging is like, hey, you know what? If you guys are going to charge a lot, I'll just give this one away. You don't have to sell it. And then I wanted to make it personal. It's like it's very. Those things are from the company. Obviously, I'm a 50% owner of the company. That's just shit. It's special to everyone, and so I know it'll generate money, but it's no like real. I don't know. I mean, this is a personal thing. The guy's a member of the community. He's friends with people. I don't know him, but I talk to Rodney all the time. I talk to I don't know his real name. Bourbon Confidential.
Bourbon. Yeah,
Bourbon all the time, and I'm always messaging these guys, and I can relate to the story. So I was like, man, everything that anybody donated while I was on the live, I matched all their donations, and so that was like $1,000. And then I offered up everybody's always saying they want one of my hats, and I was like, here's a hat. I don't really wear it anymore. I mean, it was an expensive hat, but not this hat. You can't have this hat. This is, but it was cool because it has my initials on it. It has, had the logo branded on the back, and it was like the first feathered hat band I ever got, and so it was like a special hat. And so I offered that hat for It's not part of the raffle. It's going to be for a separate auction.
And I would tell you right now, to be a personable person, a personable brand, to be someone who literally understand the consumer and also represent the brand, I would say I can count on the finger how many people actually can say, hey, I had the opportunity to interact with this brand and know who's the person that's behind it. And I can for sure say, oh, I know Aaron's heart, right? Because there's something about knowing somebody's heart, right?
Well, thank you.
This is business after all, and you still have to actually be in the black at the end of the day. But when you know the person's heart, you understand that, you know what? Yeah, it may be about business, but when we take that business hat off, this man is this person, this is his character, and he stands by people. So for that reason, I want to take a moment. If you guys are in the audience right now, take a moment and thank Aaron for actually being the person that he is in the community, away from his brand, because it's good. We have brands every day. I'm pretty sure I talk to at least one brand every day on my channel, but there is only rare brand that I can honestly say I have a personal relation with. So put an F in the chat right now for us, for Aaron,
guys.
Being the most awesome person that he can be. And thank you for actually loving people just the way they are. And for who
it comes back, it's a full circle, I mean, it is hard when obviously my personality, and I get a little heated. It's just who I am, I was like that. I've been like that my whole life. It got me into trouble in my younger days, but but the thing is, it's like every sort of thing that's happened, the bourbon community's been there for me. They're very supportive. And even like I was on Fred Minnick's show the other day, and he's like, I've never seen it where someone attacks you, everybody's like, fuck you, and they defend me. And he's like that doesn't happen. I was like, it's amazing, and so I appreciate that, and I appreciate you guys. I mean, coming on,
absolutely. I didn't want to talk to you till I was big enough. That's actually one of the
things. That's ridiculous. Come on.
I actually told.
Don't say that.
I could have talked to you a year ago when I was what I call a fanboy of Smoke Wagon.
Well,
but I said I want to be able to have a huge platform for everyone to hear your message. Because Aaron, as much as you play it off like, oh yeah, I'm just Aaron, you have made a difference in the whiskey community. You have impacted you refuse to come to my state. It's okay, but you have made a big impact in the community. And because you stand authentically, right? Authenticity is everything. Because you stand authentically yourself, everybody knows who Aaron is. Everybody, like, I don't think people even know anymore Smoke Wagon. Like, oh yeah, Aaron. Like, no one even cares. They're like, yeah, Aaron, that guy from Smoke Wagon. That's the guy, right? So I honestly want to tell you that I appreciate what you're doing. I'm the weird kid just like you. I dance to the beat of my own drum, and I really like people that dance to the beat of their own drum. I really don't give a shit about what people think, how they think about it, what they have to tell me. All I know is I love people and I love whiskey. So I'm here for all of it. So I want to thank you for coming on. I want to thank you.
Oh man, my pleasure. It's a lot of fun. Can you believe it's already been over an hour? It's just
oh yeah,
by, man.
Oh yeah.
So fun.
We have, but before you leave us, we have a segment on Mondays, and our segment on Mondays is advice that do not suck. Since this is Monday suck, we always like people to give an advice that do not suck. So, Aaron, if you have one advice to give our people here, right? Give them one advice that do not suck.
One advice that doesn't suck.
Yep.
Well, let's see. Well, I mean, I would say just the best thing. It's like kind of twofold. Number one, just always maintain perspective. You know, it's like when things are bad or stuff is hard, you just realize, like, perspectively, how bad is it? Because there's no limit to human suffering. It can always be worth, and just focus on the good, like, you know, what you can be thankful for, and you know, like, again, you know, everything's fleeting. You'll get through it. And the other is like, just try to have my goal is to always just try to have a positive impact. For the most part, I mean, obviously some people don't deserve it, but for the most part, try to have a positive impact, you know, on the people around you. It's just, I feel like, especially looking at social media now, it's like that. It's just so easy for everybody unnecessarily negative, and hate on things, and just to talk shit about people. Just try, I mean, don't be fake positive, or like, you know, like if you're having problems there, it's okay to be sad and have problems and be down, you know, but it's like, just, man, it's just, I don't know. There's just so, and don't use sad, if you're an adult male, don't use sad face emojis in your comments. Okay? You're grown up.
Hey, you know what? I heard everything you said, but I believe today's advice that do not suck is do not use sad emojis in your comment. No one cares about your sad
emoji. If you're a grown-ass man, don't use sad face emojis.
From Aaron Mount himself. He said, and I quote, if you're a grown-ass man, do not use side emojis in your comment. This is gonna be the video we cut it for the preview for people to see. From Aaron from Smoke Wagon, he wants you to know if it's ever going to give you or pick you for a getaway, do not, emphasis or not, use a side face emoji to express your emotion. You are a grown-ass man. You're better than that. Goodbye. This is not what we're about. No side face emoji.
No sad face emoji.
That made my Monday. That made my Monday suck less. Because
if you take the whole visualization thing, right? You know, visualizing what you want or whatever. You're just visualizing sadness for yourself with your sad face emoji.
True. So before I let you go, I have two more questions before I let. The first question is, I'm pretty sure there is a few people that are gonna be dressed like Aaron for Halloween. So I have to ask I'm all about swag. I'm all about swag. So I have to ask about the swag. You, sir, have your style, you know, is always denim, boots, t-shirt. You look like you don't even work in a bottling facility. You just photo
well,
ready.
I used to. I mean, I don't do it anymore. You know, I mean, I had a long period of time where I was
We're
couldn't
losing him
wear
here.
anything.
His internet needs some internet.
Oh no, are you losing me?
So I
There we
would tell
go.
you
You're
right
back.
now. I would tell you, tell the people about your swag, because the jacket, the hat, the t-shirt, and the denim. What's happening?
Oh, it wasn't me. It was
Tell the
him.
people about this. No, it was him. It was not. No, I
It
knew
was
it was
him.
him. Don't worry
You
about
weren't
it.
losing me. Okay.
He'll be back.
Yeah, no, believe me, I used to. It was all overalls and work Western boots and stuff that could get dirty and fucked up most of my life. Yeah, man. I mean, this is a Pendleton. I love Pendleton stuff. The hats. This is the guy. He spoiled me. Watson's Hat Shop in Cave Creek, Arizona. These hats, they're expensive, but man, they're custom made, and the signature felt. I overheat and they breathe like crazy. My two favorite boot, everybody knows about Lucchese, but custom boots. If you want to do custom cowboy boots made in the U.S., Blackjack. They all use the same toolers and hand painters. The giant alligator Lucchese, but if you want custom tooled boots, man, Blackjack. And
All right.
and Wranglers, right? You gotta show some Wranglers.
Hey, Levi's is what I do, but Wranglers is what you do. I love my Levi's. But I will. The last question that I have is, what do the people? We had about 70 people watching us
Awesome.
on YouTube, and about 25 watching. So about 100 people right now watching. My question will be, if there is one thing exclusively the people from Monday Sucks are watching right now, what do they need to know about Smoke Wagon, or what is it that they need to, keep an eye out for Smoke Wagon coming soon?
Oh, you mean new products?
If there is.
Give us a Monday Sucks exclusive.
Give us a Monday Suck excuse. Don't worry, I will come there.
I don't know if I have any Monday Sucks exclusive. I've been so focused on this property and getting the plans done and everything. I've just been I mean, there are no secrets now. I mean, we already talked about the rye. Everybody knows that those first 10 MGP barrels, I'm going to try 9 years. I'm going to try to do something with. I would say that the only thing that I'm thinking about is almost like a baby uncut. I did a straight blend of 4 and 5 year, and I tried it before I proofed it down, and it was fucking amazing. It was incredible. It was so good. It obviously wasn't as complex as uncut and filtered, but I mean, talk about like fruit, and there was no oak, and it was so delicious, and the nice sharp heat, a little hotter than what uncut is because in Indiana everything, the proof goes down over time. That is something that I'm contemplating. It's like a little like a cheaper uncut, something in between small batch and uncut.
All right. This
Cool.
is your opportunity to ask Aaron any question you want. And the first
I dropped my cigar
from your favorite friend, Matt Bourbon Jeeper. You want to know, are you making any more barrel heads? Because they're gone in 22nd.
Yeah, we are. I mean, I don't do it personally. There will come a time at the new space, the new land, that 4 acres, we'll have our wood shop. Right now, yes, they're being made for me.
Okay. If you guys have any question for Aaron, this is your opportunity to ask.
I got a question.
Yeah.
So, Aaron, you're a cigar guy. You smoke cigars.
Correct.
Do you think that because you're smoking cigars all the time, do you think it's affecting your palate anyway in your blends?
No, because I usually do those in the morning. So
okay.
I haven't had any cigars or anything. I got a fresh, clean palate.
Okay. So you don't think, even though you're doing it on a regular basis, it's not affecting anything?
No, I only have like 1 cigar a day, so it's like,
okay. Yeah, that was just something I was always curious about because I don't know you on an hourly basis or a weekly basis or a daily basis. I just know you on the persona that you give us social media wise, and I'm like, man, that guy's always got a fucking cigar. His palate must be fucking wrecked.
No, I usually at most I'll have one a day.
Okay,
not every day. It depends. It all depends on my mood.
How you feel? Yeah,
sure.
That's a good thing. But Aaron, You've been with us 1 hour and 20 whole second, right?
Minutes.
But
Yeah.
the last question, because I give the opportunity here, is if you're not drinking Smoke Wagon, right? We have to know if you're not drinking Smoke Wagon,
What am I drinking?
Your bourbon.
I haven't had anything else in years. It used to be
Oh,
Michter's
shit.
Rye. Yeah, it used to be Michter's Rye. I barely have time to drink my own stuff now. It's like I'm always like behind on uncut, unfiltered blends and everything. And like people send me stuff, and I was like, dude, you see how behind I am on doing tasting notes on uncut unfilters? But my favorites were Four Roses Single Barrel, Michter's Rye. Those were like my two go-to.
Okay.
Back in the day.
Okay, those are bangers.
Oh, and E.H. Taylor. The
Bangers.
E.H. Taylors, when they first came out and were readily available, we used to have them at the bar all the time. I drink those.
All right. Somebody's asking, can D get the history behind DJ? I don't know who DJ is, but
Desert Jewel, I already went over that.
Desert Jewel.
Yeah, no. We went through that. So, but Aaron, I'm not gonna hold you long. I am
It's
so
gonna be dark
happy
soon.
you came on. Yeah, you sir are a legend. I'd rather give
thanks,
you your
man.
roses today. As a man, I appreciate you standing by what you believe in.
Oh,
And
thank you.
that's what makes, I believe, I'm sure you have your team with you. But
Oh,
you
yeah.
have an amazing team also.
They-
Lindsay, I believe she's on it, right?
and the guys in the
communication wise.
warehouse. Yeah, the guys in the warehouse, what they accomplish with no automated bottling or anything.
I
they
can
are
only
everything.
imagine the work that you guys put in every day to make sure that people like us are happy and enjoying your product. I cannot wait. You are now part of the Monday Sucks crew.
Right on.
If there is anything you want to tell the world, just know that this is your home. You just have to reach out, and we'll be more than happy to share it with everyone possible out there.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you very much.
I want to thank you for coming on. I appreciate you taking your time today.
Absolutely,
to do
my
this.
pleasure. You guys are a lot of fun, man. This was great. I flew by.
And I can tell you right now, I'm looking forward to the day you decide to actually have your own cigar. My goal is to get the same jacket you have right now. I know I'm never getting the rare and limited, but I might as well get all your gears so I can look as cool as you do, brother.
Right on.
So thank you so much for coming on. I'm sure Tim appreciate you being here. I appreciate you being here, and thank you so much for taking your time and talking to us again. And it's
like
more
I
than
said, man, my pleasure. It was a lot of fun. Great way to spend the
It's been a blast, Aaron.
For sure.
Thanks so much,
It's
buddy.
been a bright. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for coming.
Thanks, guys.
And we will let you go now.
All right. Have a good one.
You have a
Cheers,
good
my dude. Later, buddy. All right.
This
I'm small. There we go. I'm big.
great. This was amazing. I'm hoping people learned something from this interview. I wanted to keep it very light. I wanted to keep it very easy and simple, and make.
Will you do me a favor? Will you pin my phone number to? Can you pin my phone number on the comments? I'm going to do something really quick. I want to give some stickers away really quick, and I figured that was the best.
It is a giveaway moment.
I figured that was the best way to do it. You can text my phone number, so I'm going to put my phone number up here on the screen.
Shoot me this is going to stay forever.
That's fine.
Because it's on YouTube.
I don't care. I do not care. People are not brave enough to text me. And if you are, bring it on. Let's go. I'm about it. So yeah, put my phone number up on the screen. Here's the thing. All right. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay.
Okay.
If you want a sticker, okay, these I will tell you right now. Oop, here we go. These are gonna be Instagram only proofs. Okay, this is the Monday Sucks exclusives. These stickers, they aren't coming back again. Okay, they are not going to come back again in this form. Y'all are the first to see them and the first to get them. I have 9 to give away. If you want single barrel snob sticker, my number is going to pop up on the screen. Shoot me a text. Shoot me a text with your address, okay? And that's all you have to do. Shoot me a
Okay.
text with your address, and I
All
will send you a sticker. There you
All
go.
right.
There
So
you go. Yeah,
y'all
my
just
number is on my Instagram profile
yeah,
too, and
it's
only one person has taken advantage of it so far. So there you go. Send me a text,
robocalls. All the robocalls
name,
are coming your way.
name, 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 and address, and I'll send you a sticker. Okay,
All
simple
right.
as that. That's all you got to do. There we
So
go. Leave that number up there.
you heard it here first. Tim just got his new brand. You see it at the bottom of the screen. He's just text him your address, and he'll be more than happy to actually give you his new brand stickers.
These are Instagram slash YouTube
Monday
slash
stock
Facebook
only,
exclusive
right?
month slash Monday sucks exclusives. These stickers are probably not going to be done again in this fashion. Man, it's going off already. There we go. There's the text messages. They're coming through. But
All
yeah,
right.
they're going to change slightly. So these are limited edition of 14. Okay, limited edition 14. There you go.
All right. So for all of you watching, Tim have his. It only took him a year and a half to finally come up with his barrel his what do you call
My
it
logo. My
his
logo.
logo that is here. It's beautiful. It looks great. And I believe is you guys will get to have, if you're a sticker person, I have my stickers there. I even made pins, but for me to get one of my special pins, you need to get at least one of my glasses. If you get one of my glasses, well, everybody that bought a glass, one of my Glencairn or my old-fashioned glasses, got a sticker and a pin in their box that came with that.
That's
Otherwise,
awesome.
hood pin is special, so you can't just have it. But Tim is very gracious right now. So Tim, before we close, we have to give advices that do not suck, right? You guys
Oh,
got
dude, I got one today because
so
I had a magical moment today, and I
uh,
would love to. I would love
we
to.
are going to start with you, and then we are going to I'm going to go for mine.
I'm gonna stop my camera just for a second because I got to get up and grab my phone.
Okay.
Because I cannot remember the name of it offhand. I need to look it up really fast. So, today was the first day. Rebecca and Harrison are in Alabama right now visiting family. So I've been alone for the last week or so, and today was the first day off since they've left, and it's the first day probably in a good year and a half that I was actually able to go out and explore the city. And so I went to Churchill Downs for the very first time. I've been here over 4 years, and I went to Churchill Downs for the very first time. I drove around my neighborhood. I met some really cool strangers, and I came across this little restaurant slash grocery store slash giving back to the neighborhood called Garden Girl Foods. If you follow my story, I posted in my story, I said, how do you run a business? And I said, involve your community. The person who owns this business, her name is Whitney. And I know I'm supposed to be giving advice and I'm giving a story, but this is part of the advice.
So I keep waiting for the advice. And
it's coming. It's coming. Just bear with me for a second, okay?
Okay.
So she owns this little store. It's a female-owned, black-owned business. She's a badass, but she's involving her community. Okay, so here's my advice for you. Okay, explore your community, explore your neighborhood, and take 5 minutes and take a time out and just sit in that community and sit in that space and find out what it's about. I will tell you this. I'll just be real. Monday sucks real time. I, at one point, was so overwhelmed with what she's doing and the feelings and vibes that she has going on there that I sat there and cried because it was so overwhelmed, and it is such a beautiful space. And it was all because I decided to sit there and just take 5 minutes and just be in what I was doing. So just take, if you have 5 minutes, on any spectrum, on whatever it is, take 5 minutes and just sit in silence and absorb everything that's going on around you and live in that moment, because that was I have not done that in a very long time, and it was beautiful. So please sit in silence for 5 minutes and absorb your surroundings. That is my advice.
My advice that do not suck this Monday. I want to tell y'all the only thing I would tell you guys today, and that you guys need to know, is it is okay to be different.
Mm.
It is okay to be different. The reason why is most people believe that following the wave makes sense. And I even tested that the last 2 weeks. It was like, oh, is what do you call it? Is Michter's Monday. I said, fuck it. Let's make it a McAllen Monday, or or Weird Brand Monday. And people say, oh, is Wild Turkey, is Turkey Tuesday, okay, or is Taylor Tuesday? No, I want to make it a Wild Turkey Tuesday, right? And tomorrow I think I'm gonna make it a Texas Tuesday, right? And in this environment that we are, people will follow the wave, but it's okay to be the weird kid. It's quite all right. Following people in what they do take away your authenticity. Not everybody will agree with what you do, but it's okay to be different. What I would tell you while you're being different, what not to do is to tell other people that they're wrong for being different from you. And I've seen a couple of accounts this month that it was quite interesting that they were going after people that will, find a certain taste note in what they're doing, people that will say something about a bottle that they have. And these accounts are going on and talking shit about these people. And I'm sitting there going, aren't you doing this because you're different? So if you're doing this because you're different, why aren't you promoting being different? If somebody said they're smelling unicorn poop in their whiskey, or somebody said this is the best ever bottle they ever found, good for you. That's your opinion. So it's okay.
Yeah.
But it's okay to be different. So just be. Creativity comes from people that are different. But you know what is not okay to be? A dick.
Yeah.
Right? A dick. And I will tell you right now, in this whiskey community, we have a bunch of dicks that goes around and just plainly annoy the words because they don't have enough people to annoy in their life. And they think, oh, let me get with the whiskey community. I can be a dick there. So to all of you out there that don't believe in being different and following the wave, I challenge you this week. I challenge you this month, because next month is gonna be May. You need to be different. It's okay to be different. It's okay to be unique and authentic the way you need to. But you know what you don't need to be? A dick. And the last advice I will give you today is relationships that we build are not for today. They are for tomorrow. Relationship we build today, I'm going to repeat. Relationship we build are not for today. They are for tomorrow. So you helping somebody out, you reaching out to somebody, you saying hello, you saying, I can help you. I will be here for you, or I'm going to do that for you, is not for today, yet it's for tomorrow. Because what the seed you plant today is the fruit you're going to rip tomorrow. So if you're a dick today, guaranteed that tomorrow you have no fruit to rip. So just remember, the relationship you build are not for today. They are for tomorrow. It may not be you reaping the benefit. It may be your kid
Mm,
or your grandkid that may be reaping those benefit of
mm.
that relationship. There is a reason why they say all the time is not what you know, but who you know. And in this whiskey industry, everybody passed their fucking time putting their dick on the table to measure it with other people, forgetting the relationship part. And the people that are different will be the same people that will tell you, I don't give a shit how long your dick is. I just want to make good friends and I want to build good relationship, not for today, but for tomorrow.
For sure.
So that is my advice, my Monday advice that do not suck. Single barrel snub, tell the people where they can find you.
You find me on the good old Instagram at Single Barrel Snob, modernthirst.com, whiskey news and reviews. Shoot me an email, Timothy at modernthirst.com. And you can check out some great whiskey reviews, 5-minute reviews. The Truth is Barrel Proof podcast. Jack, what's good? Tell the people where they can find you.
You can find me on Instagram here on hood_sommelier. Remember, I have a giveaway going on with DS Dateman for you single barrel winners, single malt drinkers. We are gonna have a special event for you single malt drinkers. It's gonna be some special thing. We picking 7 people and having a whole information and tasting session with 7 people. You can actually jump on a Truth is Barrel Proof podcast. It's a community podcast that I created for everyone. So if you can actually review a bottle in 5 minutes, send it to me. I'll be more than happy to review it and put it out there. 2 brand new episodes that were dubbed today. One from my man from Signatory, and the other one from our favorite person here, Bourbon Jeepers, and he did Smoke Wagon. So go ahead and go on the Truth is Barrel Proof and do me a favor. If you're listening to this podcast, we already have haters. We already have haters that are actually giving us Apple Podcasts. So if you have an iPhone, go on your podcast channel and go leave us a review, give us 5 star, so we can actually be ranking up in the whiskey reviews of the Truth is Barrel Proof. So the Truth is Barrel Proof podcast is where you can find me. We are here on YouTube. One of the greatest thing I'm gonna do next week on YouTube is that my objective here is to actually start creating memberships for the channel and make sure that you guys can support our channel for all the expense that we put out there. And then this is not for me, it's for all the expense that are out there. I already created the membership level and I'll put it out there so you guys can actually be members now. And hopefully you get exclusive content that no one get to see, and only you, the members here, will get to see it. And this was our Monday that do not suck so much because we had such a good time. I want you to be able to make sure to be we here. We want you to be able to know that you are a people lover and a whiskey lover after. Not otherwise. You are people lovers first and whiskey lovers after. Tim, thank you for always being here every Monday. I don't think I actually thank you enough for always being here every Monday, because this will not happen without you. So thank you for being here. Next week, you guys do not want to miss next week. Next week, we also have a banger um, brand that will be coming on. And the following week, we even have a bigger banger brand that is coming on. So the next 3 weeks that are coming are already packed with amazing distilleries, amazing, blenders and people that are coming on to tell you more about what you're consuming so you can know exactly what these motherfuckers are about. So thank y'all for being here. Make sure again, if you're on YouTube, make sure you actually push the bell and you actually get notification when this goes on. If you're on Facebook, make sure you like and follow the page so we can actually have a good time. And if you are on your podcast app, the Truth is Barrel Proof podcast, go listen to it and tell Tim how much he's actually melancholic when he's talking about his whiskey. Thank you so much for being here. This was Monday Sucks, and we appreciate you as always. Have a good night.
Cheers, dudes.